Hey there, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to design a necklace using Sam'sBeadBox subscription for the month of November 2024. It is Broadway bound. So that's the box we are designing with. So these topaz beads in the like graduated fashion. So it starts from small to long. So that beads we received in the box. So I utilized the entire thing except for some. So these were separated by the small topaz beads. I think these are 2 millimeter. So I'm going to save the 2 millimeter beads for some other project. But I'm going to use all the graduated beads in one strand. I'm also using these beads that we got. We got 4 of them. So I'm utilizing 2 right here. Actually 5 of them. So I'm utilizing 2 out here. But I want somewhere like this. I want this to come. So this is the pattern I have in mind. For to achieve it, I am taking an 18 gauge wire. This is copper plated wire. Okay, so I chose 18 gauge because I want the frame to be really sturdy, I would say. And let me just pull out a seed bead container. I'm just seeing if this is the right size. Actually this is supposed to be the right size. So I want a structure from here to here. That's what I have in mind. So in between these topaz beads, I used this bead that we got in the box as well. This strand, I used the black one just to tie both the elements together. So I'm using the seed bead tube to actually kind of shape my finding that I wanted here. So here we go. So the 18 gauge wire, I just make it like okay, it actually bends the seed bead container, guys. So I just bent it around the seed bead container and I'm checking whether the size is okay or not. It's just a tad bit smaller, but that's okay. Okay, now what I'm gonna do here is, so if you see this, I want this to come down like this, not like really, but just a little bit more. So even if I make a loop here, it will be very short. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm just going to widen this up a little bit and do that. So okay, so I just did a shape like this. Okay, so now I'm gonna snip off here. I'm just eyeballing it. So I just eyeballed it, I didn't measure it, so it's going to be a little bit right there, but that's okay with me. So if you want, you can make this a little bit bigger. Oops. So a towel would be a good one, but you can see, as you can see, it's way too bigger. So I cannot use my dowel right there. So I need to find a seed bead container which is a little bit bigger. So I think this one is a little bit bigger. So if I just, okay, this will be way too bigger. Okay, a Sharpie marker, something like that actually, but I'm okay with this being a little bit wide. Okay, now it should be perfect, so which I like it. So here we go. This one measures about, in total it's 1 inch. This part is 1 inch. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take my round nose pliers and make a loop. As I said, I'm just doing this on the fly. I haven't made anything similar to this before, so I'm just taking this and making a loop. See, I'm not bending or anything, I'm just making a loop which folds on one side. So I'm going to do the same the other side as well. So here we go, it's touching it. touching it. I want this to touch exactly the wire. Okay, once I have this, take your pliers and adjust to the need and necessity things to tidy it up. See, I want this loop to hide just like that. So I like it. If you want to straighten, you can straighten, but in essence I like it. I want to hammer this U part, leaving that loop away. I'm going to hammer the entire thing so it's nice and sturdy. I know it's an 18 gauge, it will stay sturdy for me, but I really want to hammer it. So make it even more sturdier. So if you have a bench block like this and a hammer like this, then you keep the loop over here and then kind of hammer it. It will be a little bit loud, and when you hammer, the piece is going to be widened a little bit more. Okay, I like it. So now this is how it looks, nice and sturdy. So gonna put this away, and now what we are going to do is I'm just gonna take this off. Okay, take this off and add this loop and then the bead and then the loop. Oops. So somehow I made it fit. Doesn't have to be loose or something, but at the same time I don't want it to be. I think I can take this bead away. Okay, see, when we hammered it became slightly bigger, so you can just do that. And then I don't want this bead right here. So once you put things together, then only the perspective changes. So here we go. When I just did without this finding, I needed a bead right there. Oops, you can keep it, align the holes and just go through. Oops. Sometime if I'm way too excited, this happens, guys. There we go. So I like this, followed by this bead and the smaller one. So now this is what I'm going to fill it up. So you don't have to have this box to design this. You can use any beads you want, which is available in your stash. That's totally fine. But if you have this box and you want to follow this pattern, go ahead and do that. I think it has turned out pretty, in my opinion. So far this is what we have. So for here I want this to dangle. For this I'm not going to use an 18 gauge, I'm going to use a 20 gauge, or if you have a head pin, that would work. I don't want to use a head pin. The reason being is I trust these wires, the non-tarnish. This is a Macrame 20 gauge wire. I trust this wire more than my head pins, because my head pins are often, doesn't matter how much you buy the head pins for, sometimes it does tarnish and you don't have anything. There is no guarantee. I tried buying my head pins from different places, but see, I made just a U and then I'm squishing that U. This is how we make head pin from a wire, right? So I'm just doing that. So I'm leaving it at that point because I don't want it to be very pointed, and I'm just going to make a basic loop. Doesn't have to be a wrapped loop, it can just be a basic loop. Snip off about 1/4 of an inch and then take your round nose pliers, make a loop. So there we go, our loop is pretty. Then open this loop up and you can hang this here in that finding. If you want to decorate the finding, well, go ahead and decorate it with some wire wrapping beads and stuff, but for the look that I'm going for, I'm okay with this. I don't want see, this is what I want, so I like it. So I'm gonna continue this, and for the rest of the so we have a small strand. So once the strand is done, actually I want to add some beads. I don't want to waste this one, but I want to add some seed beads to finish it off. So by the way, I'm using a 19 strand bead stringing wire for this in a gold color. This is Beadalon, and it's 0.8 inches or 0.46 millimeter in diameter. So that's the size of the wire I'm using. You can use soft flex, Ecnoflex, whatever you have available in your stash, you can use those. But this is what I'm using, and I'm making this necklace for myself and my kids. So I have 2 daughters, so they will be also wearing it. So this is what it is. So far I think, how come there's one more? Yeah, there we go, one more bead. You can save this one bead if you want, and then have this as a, earrings. Like this is a earring, that is also pretty. Let me just save this one, doesn't matter, I'll save that one, and then I will continue stringing it, and I'll come and show you guys what I got in the end. So hi friends, I finished stringing the beads in the back. So I used some seed beads and the crystal in the middle. I didn't use a lot, but I just wanted to continue at the end as well. So the mix that I am using here, there is no name or so, but it's a gunmetal mix. So it has that metal, black metal, the gunmetal or black metal, little bit of bronze, and then iris plating as well. So it just mixed perfectly with this crystal beads, so I just use those. But you can also use black or this color. I would say this is champagne color, so something like that. So now we are going to crimp the ends and do the clasp. So for the clasp, I'm gonna make my own clasp. So for one side, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna make a figure 8 pattern. So you can use the round nose pliers or bail making pliers for this. I'm going to use my bail making pliers so that it's nice and uniform, but actually I don't want a uniform one. So the smallest mandrel of the bail making pliers, I made a loop, and then just a little bit bigger than that. So the next big mandrel, the fourth big mandrel, I'm using the other loop for. So it's like a figure 8 pattern. Okay, so I'm gonna cut over here, so we have a full figure 8. If you want, you can actually hammer this down, so it's nice and Why I'm using my own clasp is, if you can see, the color of the gold is very light, and all my lobster claw clasp and stuff has a very strong color, and this is the wire I use the U form with, so I'm just gonna continue using that wire. This is an 18 gauge wire, by the way. You can actually use the clasp with 20 gauge, you don't need 18 gauge, but this is much more sturdier, and I just want to keep the color uniform. That's the whole sole idea here. And then I'm also going to flush cut the ends, not the ends, I didn't cut the wire yet, right? So I'm just gonna use the step looping pliers, and I'm gonna go ahead and bend the wire. So I'm just eyeballing it, and I'm gonna bend and make a U form right there. So, and then I'm gonna keep this at the end, okay, and then I'm gonna make a loop. I know it's a little bit harder if you're working with the spool. You can cut about, say, 3 inches into it. I'm gonna cut about, say, here. Okay, this is what I have. So take my round nose pliers and help myself out here. So I completely closed it, I guess. So again, put my so I want this loop to be closed. That's about it. So at this point, I take my pliers and just take the end and then make a U form. So I'm gonna squish that in between my pliers, just like that, so it doesn't catch to anything. So I just press this, and if you think this is way too long, you can reduce the size, but I'm okay with it. So this is my clasp. So I'm just gonna shut this a little bit more and see, it's more like a clasp right now. As I said, you can hammer it if you want to. I'm thinking of hammering it as well, because that's a good idea to make this secure. A little bit loud. I'm using my bench block and my hammer, and as you guys see, I'm just tapping. I'm not flattening it up that much, but whenever you hammer, the loop kind of opens up, so we need to fix that, but we will hammer both and then fix it. Gentle tapping motion. I'm not doing this, I'm just doing that. Once you feel that you have hammered, I don't really need a lot, so I'm good with this. Again, you need to make sure this loop is closed, okay, and this loop is closed as well. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to come in here, maybe, and close this. So maybe I will close it with this only, but just be careful, don't distort the shape. There we go. So that's that. Now we are going to finish the ends. So I'm using Beadalon crimp bead size, I want size 1. This is size 0. So it will be written on top of the, see over here. I do need this is a size 1 crimp. This one is a little bit bright color. If the color don't match, you can buy a crimp cover matching that color, but it is very hard to find a crimp bead that matches this color. So I'm just gonna add it here. Okay. Bring this back. Through my crimp bead, and if possible, through a couple of seed beads. If not, that's okay. Just pull the wire out. So generally the tendency of the wire is to crisscross inside, so we have to make sure it's nice and parallel. Okay, so see this, it's crisscrossing, so make sure it's nice and parallel with each other. Okay, take your crimping pliers. I like to use my crimping pliers for bead lawn crimps. So there is a 2 hole. One is like a cashew shape, which is closer to the handle. The other one is a little bit oval. So I'm going horizontally with the bottom one and I'm going to squish the bead into like a cashew shape or a kidney shape, and then going to go vertically with the top one and crimping it. So that has a sharp end. I don't know why, but let's see if I can file that down. See this? There is a sharp end to it. All I use is my emery board, but you can use professional filer right there. Yeah, there it goes. Normally it doesn't have to be normally doesn't leave any sharp edges. It doesn't have to be sanded down. So move all the beads to this side and to the other side. I need a little bit more seed bead. I didn't do as much as I did the other side, so just need a little bit more. So I'm gonna load some seed beads here. These are 11O seed beads, by the way. You can use 8O, 11O, even 6O is fine. Whichever you have available, the color combination that matches your necklace is good enough. I think that's good enough, I guess. Let me just see. So I just eyeball it. Okay, now I need to move everything down and then keep it right here. Okay, just a bead or so, 2 beads more. So take the 2 beads off. My crimp bead and the small loop of my figure 8 link. Come back down. There we go. Go through that. I kept this loop fairly smaller the other side, so I'm intending to keep the same here. But see, there is a short space here which I want to keep. Otherwise, if I go very close to the seed bead, I will break the seed bead. So go ahead and the same one, go first horizontally with the bottom divot and then vertically with the top one. So that's what I have. I'll go ahead and snip the wire off. As close as possible. Just a little bit of waste. Perfect. And my necklace is done. I really like the way this turned out to be. Very simple, but at the same time it's just bead stringing, but a little bit, it's very organic touch to it. A little bit of wire wrapping. Not even wire wrapping, it's wire working. Just a form and just a clasp. So it fits perfectly. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. If you do like it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit the bell icon for notification. I really appreciate it. There is share, like button right next to it. There's a thanks button which has a heart symbol and a dollar sign inside it. Click on that and you can donate as much as you can to my channel. It will help my channel grow and also bring you guys more stuff. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. Bye bye. See you in the next video. Welcome to my channel. This is a jewelry making fun collab by Dahlia Designs, hosted by Debbie. And so for this month's challenge, there is 3 challenges. One is the basic one. Second, the other 2 is optional challenge. The challenge being to use tan color and smoky quartz. The challenge is to use tan color, smoky quartz, and black diamond. And then the optional challenges is to use is to make multi-strand project. Doesn't matter, it's a bracelet or a necklace. And then the other optional challenge is to use seed beads and crystals more. So in my I did the first optional challenge, the first challenge. I didn't get to do the optional challenges, but I think I did one. Okay, this is my project, and this is that tan color that we are looking for, topaz or tan color. So I use the crystals in the variegated shape. It goes down, it goes up and then down, kind of. So that I used, and then I used crystals. These are crystals, the black ones with a little bit of a purple and gold coating. Those are crystals. And then I used seed beads to finish the bracelet off. So this is a simple bead stringing project, but I have a loop, kind of a horseshoe kind of a loop, which is a statement piece which goes around this faceted check glass bead in the tan color or tangerine color, I would say. Not tangerine, tan color. And then this beautiful floral check glass bead in the black with the gold wash. So I used that, and then I did some I did a dangle right over here just to tie this together. It just feels very perfect to me. So I used the crystals in between. These are 3mm, I guess. And then I used some laveno seed beads in this beautiful mix, gunmetal mix that I have. And then I finished it off with the clasp as well. So this clasp also I made it, I made an S hook and then clasp. So it's like with 18 gauge wire. So that's what I made it with. So I really like the way this turned out to be. It's very pretty. I love it. And if you guys like this, I hope you guys will like it too. So this is the only project I did, but I think it turned out very pretty. I'm a little late. It's supposed to be uploaded on at 10 p.m. Eastern time every month on the 18th. There are multiple channels that are participating in this fun jewelry making collab. I will leave down the description box below the link. So the name of all the channels that is participating in this fun jewelry making collab. Do check them out as well. And I will meet you guys in the next month's video. I hope you guys enjoy this. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. Bye bye.